We turn, though, right now to the battle of the sanctuary cities. Protesters lined the Texas State House this week, imploring Governor Greg Abbott to veto a new provision passed by Texas state legislators that would eliminate sanctuary cities and punish those who refuse to enforce federal immigration law. Texas Governor Greg Abbott laid out the penalties on Sunday Morning Futures with me.
We've passed a bill now in the Capitol behind me, out of both the House and the Senate, that I've been advocating for, that will impose even stiffer penalties on these sanctuary cities. One, it can expose them to very high fines, about $25,000 per day. It can expose them to jail time for any sheriff or any other official who adopts a sanctuary city policy. It can also subject the county or city or whichever political body it is to legal action in the event that they release somebody or adopt a sanctuary city policy and somebody is harmed.
I want to bring in Fox News senior judicial analyst right now, Judge Andrew Napolitano. And Judge, this issue is getting really tougher and tougher. Will this indeed be the stiffest anti-sanctuary law in the land?
Well, it probably will if it's not interfered with by the federal courts. The reason I say that is because
it's going to be interfered with.
Yeah, there are parts of it remarkably similar to the Arizona statute of about 4 or 5 years ago, which was invalidated by a federal judge. The invalidation was upheld by the circuit court, and most of the invalidation was upheld by the Supreme Court of the United States. The theory being immigration is a federal issue. The feds have co-opted the field, and the states may not legislate in areas that are at odds with the way the feds want to enforce immigration. Now, having said that, excuse me, can the state of Texas punish its own employees for failure to comply with federal instructions on immigration? Answer, yes. Can the feds order state employees against their will or against the policy of the state to comply with federal orders or instructions on immigration? Answer, no. The Supreme Court is very clear on this, that the states are independent and they don't work for the federal government. Can the federal government send thousands more federal agents into a city where they are unwanted to enforce federal law? Answer, yes. So the issue here is not can the feds enforce federal law. The issue is can the feds make state employees at state expense enforce federal law, and the Supreme Court has said clearly no. This Texas proposal that Governor Abbott told you about the other day is unique and creative in that it is the state telling its employees, you will at our expense enforce federal law. That is perfectly lawful.
That's lawful.
I don't know about putting people in jail. I think the federal court will probably interfere with that, and it will certainly interfere with whenever you're stopped for any reason, jaywalking, they can ask for your immigration status. But in terms of when the feds want the local police to help enforce federal law, if the state of Texas says to local police you shall do it, the state of Texas can do that.
Then also the federal government can withhold money then?
No.
They can't.
Here's how it works.
But if the state says you can't do this, and the state is enforcing, doesn't that give more weight to the government saying, okay, we're withholding?
The federal government can withhold money on those specific targeted programs that within their legislation say that they are tied to receiving federal money based on compliance, but not overall.
So the money that the states are now receiving, which they get monthly, is from Barack Obama's last budget. And that, even though it was a Republican Congress, did not attach the strings to the receipt of the money. You will comply with federal immigration law. Had those strings been attached, then the Trump administration could terminate or interfere with the cash flow until the locals comply. They had an opportunity earlier this week in the budget that's coming out for between now and September to put these strings on money going to cities. Did they? No. That clause looks like it was written by Mrs. Pelosi, not by Reince Priebus.
Ouch.
Ouch is right. They had every opportunity. And because this is in court, the courts will say, well, Congress had a chance in May to legislate this way, a Republican Congress and a Republican president, and they didn't do so. So Attorney General Sessions, Secretary of Homeland Security Kelly, where is your authority for holding back money to sanctuary cities? Answer, nowhere. Now, maybe that will change when the budget that kicks in on October 1st comes into play, but that's something the president's going to have to fight for if he really wants it.
That's why the nullification argument sounds good, but doesn't legally actually hold
yet.
The theory is that the federal government cannot co-opt, take over portions of a state and make the state work for the government at the state's expense.
Understood. Judge, great analysis as always. Thank you so much.